Hey guys, Andy here, and today we have our first palette ranking to finish off our ranking series. I'm going to be ranking a few of my brands. I'm going to start today's with my Cara Beauty palettes. I have 7 palettes here, but before we get into the ranking, if you do like the look that I did today, everything that I'm wearing will be in the description box down below, as well as my socials where you can catch my looks there. And let's just go ahead and get into the ranking. Alright, like I said, this is Cara Beauty. I got all of these palettes from TJ Maxx, and I do have to say overall, I like all of these palettes. I've gotten all of them from TJ Maxx, but I do enjoy them. And I think that they're very good quality, but I did need to rank them. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. So in palette number 7, we have the Yummy in My Tummy palette. This is the color story here. And for me, when I did my look, I used mostly this warm tone 9 pan here. I didn't really use these blues or purples. The shade right here, Barbecute and Cheese Pizza, basically blended away to nothing when I was blending them on the eyes. So, like, I had to stamp the color on multiple times. And, like, it's not a deal breaker for me. But compared to some of my other Cara Beauty palettes, like, I don't know if this was just older stock when I picked this up from TJ Maxx, but I just don't have this problem with any other palette. So, I do love the color story. I think that's a really cute palette. I love the puns. It makes me giggle every time. And the shimmers sell me. This is what the front looks like. It's just, and it came with a little set of stickers. Like, it's a super cute palette, but it had to rank somewhere, and for me, just because I have that issue, and I don't have that with any other palette, really, it had to rank number 7. In spot number 6 and 5, this is technically a magnetic duo. So in spot number 6, we have the blue side to the Bloom Into You palette. So this is what the blue side looks like. It is a 6 pan, and this one is ranking lower than the purple side just because, for some reason, I feel like the blue side, the mattes are harder pressed. I'm just looking over my notes here because I did write this all down so that I wouldn't forget. And I feel like these two shimmers are super similar on the eyes, but the biggest issue for me is how hard pressed these mattes are. I still got a really pretty look, but it's just, this was a little harder to work with than the purple side. I do love that they're magnetic. Like, I think that this is a super cute concept, and I did like it overall, so that's why this is number 6, and then this one's number 5, because just compared to the ones ahead of it, it's just a slightly worse quality, but this is the color story of the purple 6 pan. And for me, again, these two purple shimmers are super similar. Like, I'm never going to choose this one over this, like, shifty shade. These two mattes, even though they look pretty different in pan, show up super similar on the eyes. This had, like, the mattes are great. Like, this is way easier to work with than the blues, which is odd because generally purples are a little bit harder to formulate, but I did enjoy the quality of this a little bit more than the blue, so that's why this one's ranking number 5. But overall, again, that's why this one's ranking a little bit lower than the next ones. I don't know if I'd say I'd be disappointed if I had paid full price for either of these, but I'm super happy that I got them at the discount at TJ Maxx. Going forward, the top 4 blow me out of the water, and, like, the fact that I got them at a discount at TJ Maxx, amazing. Like, if you find these, I highly recommend picking the rest of these up because the quality, absolutely fantastic. So in spot number 4, we have the Peace and Lovin' palette, which I have to just give you a moment to look at the artwork on these. This is the inside color story. This is ranking in spot number 4, mostly because of the color story. It's just so similar in here. Like, we just don't, it's a lot of repeating shades. The shimmers are all super similar because I have the whole collection here. So out of the 3, this is ranking the least in ranking spot 4 for me, just because of the color story. The formula on this is phenomenal. It does have, is it just one? I think that's a pressed glitter. So this has 2 pressed glitters. I believe each palette has 2 pressed glitters. So if you're not into pressed glitters, like, these aren't going to be for you. But I really like Cara Beauty's pressed glitter formula. It's very similar to Profusion, where it's suspended in that, I don't know what it is for sure, like what the substance is, but it is suspended to where it's not just like a loose glitter. It's a nicer substance to put on the eyes. Again, I don't recommend putting it on your eyes, but I'm an idiot and do it, so, you know. In spot number 3, we have the Flower Powers palette, which this is what this one looks like. This is the color story here. And again, this is ranking below the next one because of color story, but these mattes are great. This is actually a true red. It doesn't pull pink, it doesn't pull orange. It is a legitimately true red, and if you've been following me for any sort of time, you know how hard it is for me to find true reds in my collection. Like, every time I get a palette that has a red, it either pulls pink or it pulls orange. Like, it is so hard for me to find, especially drugstore mattes that actually pull red, and this one does. The shimmer, not so much. That shimmer, as you can see, like, the shimmer is pretty pinky, but that red is red, and that makes me so happy. And this glitter is literally like a pot of gold on the eyes. Again, if you're not into pressed glitters, you're not going to enjoy that. But for those of you that love a pressed glitter, these are magnificent. And if you're into, like, this more neutral color story and these yellows, this was absolutely stunning. Like, I'm getting more into neutrals. Like, I did a more neutral look today, and just, this was my first time using brown liner, and I'm here for it. In spot number 2, we have the Summer Days palette, which this also is my favorite artwork. And this has to rank the highest out of the 3 because of the color story. Like, just look at it. It's the most variety for color story. Look at that silver. It's just as textured as the gold of the last one, but I prefer silver to gold. And just, oh, we have a duochrome here with this shade Trippy that's so beautiful. We have such depth with this palette that I don't think the other 2 from this collection give, because, like, this is almost black with a little bit of glitter, or it might actually be a black. It's the only shade of the palette I haven't used. But, like, this palette is just everything. This yellow is phenomenal. We've got some murky greens. This is my color story to a T. So you're just like, Andy, if that's your color story to a T, and it's only ranking number 2, what can rank better than that? Well, let me tell you. This is the Time Traveler palette, and this is one of their Pro palettes, and this is the Pro number 14. They come with gigantic mirrors. So it's going to be a little hard to show because of the reflection, but this is the color. This is the color story. It's a very fall color story, and I used this whole pink row. When they say that this is a Pro palette, they literally mean a Pro palette. It does have just one pressed glitter here in the center. The rest are just normal textured shimmers. These blend some of the most effortless shadows I have ever used. And, like, I have Pat McGrath, I have Natasha Denona, I have Huda Beauty. These are some of the most effortless to blend shadows I have ever used in my entire collection. Granted, I have not used some of the darker shades yet, but the shades that I have used, and, like, you can't even tell that I've used this palette. This shimmer is just, was just absolutely stunning on the eyes. I can't wait to use this green row. But, like, I saw this palette, again, TJ Maxx, which is where I find all of my Cara Beauty. And this just sold me on, like, a fall color story to a T. and I am just in love. So those are my 7 Cara Beauty palettes. Like I said, I highly recommend if you see these at TJ Maxx, like, give their formula a try, pick them up. They're a really good formula, and like these ones were pretty much brand new. Like, they had just come out on Cara Beauty's website and they were already at TJ Maxx. And I had got them for like $7.99. Or go to Cara Beauty's website. I mean, they're a little more expensive, which is why I've been going to TJ Maxx to find them. But I'm definitely going to keep looking. Like, anytime I go to TJ Maxx, if there's a new Cara Beauty palette that, like, hasn't been crazy swatched or you know, broken or anything, because TJ Maxx, I generally pick it up because even my number 7 palette, I'm not really disappointed by it because I do love the shimmers and the color story and the puns get me. So overall, like, this is a brand that I've just discovered this year in 2022, and I'm so happy that I did because I'm in love. Have you tried any of their palettes? If you have, let me know what your favorites are in the comments because I would love to have some additions to my collection. Like, I want the other magnetic one. It's a pink and yellow because, like, I need it. But let me know what you guys think, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.